Welcome to the Her Story Circle podcast, the podcast that brings you the extraordinary tales of everyday women who are changing the world. I'm your host, Gertrude Mache, and I'd like to acknowledge traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today. I also like to pay my respects to elders, past, present, and emerging. Every week, we dive into the lives, challenges, and triumphs of women from all four corners of the globe. We're here to inspire, enlighten, and connect, sharing stories that uplift and empower. So grab a cup of coffee, settle in, and join us as we explore the incredible journeys of women shaping our future. This is Her Story, where every woman's voice matters. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to this is Gertrude Mache here in beautiful Melbourne, Australia. And today I am graced with the presence of yet another fascinating young woman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to our tribe. Please tell everybody your full name, where you're based, and share your story with us today.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited to be here. I'm Claudia Guerreiro. My surname means warrior in English, and I'm originally from Portugal. I live in Germany, in Dresden, which is a small city near Berlin. And I'm just so excited to have this opportunity. Thank you so much, Gertrude, for having me in Her Story. My story starts back in my 20s, so I'm now 32, turning 33 very soon, when I really wanted to have a career that would have an impact in the world. I worked for a ton of nonprofits and for-profits, and I really wanted to make a change, but I find it hard to find my place in the world. I lived in a lot of different places, starting with France, Cambodia, Singapore, and now Germany. I've also spent some time in Spain. I really try to get acquainted with as many different cultures as possible. And so my journey led me to entrepreneurship because I was so passionate about various different topics, but one topic that was very close to my heart, and it is still very close to my heart, is marketing and communications. So I've worked in the field of marketing and communications for some time now. And at some point, after working very hard for different places, such as startups and nonprofits, I experienced burnout. And this was also the time that COVID hit back then. So there was a lot of different things going on in my life that made it really difficult. And I just thought of quitting my career in marketing altogether because I did not feel connected to what marketing and communications have been creating in the world. I think marketing and communications have been part of the problem in many ways when it comes to consumerism, perpetuating stereotypes, making people feel bad about themselves to get them to buy something, and really feeling like they're just not enough, you know? And so I did not want to be part of this. And so after some time, taking a career break where I really reflected what I wanted to do next, it led me to the part to be an entrepreneur, you know, to change things. So instead of like quitting my career altogether, I decided to I decided to make a change in the marketing industry. And that's when I started to talk about conscious marketing. So conscious marketing is all about using the power of marketing and communications as a force for good in the world. We believe in nurturing relationships. We believe in building relationships with others. So it's not about rushing to get the sale done whatsoever. It's really about planting seeds and taking the time to nurture them so that we can collect the fruits later on. So we are not rushing to pick up the fruits. And this is a very important mindset, you know. We really want to change this idea that quick wins is all that we must do, and that we have to make others feel bad about themselves to get them to buy something. We believe in the power of like non-violent communication, inviting people to be part of this journey and getting them acquainted with our businesses, with our nonprofits, or whatever organization we are helping. And so after 2 years of working on my own as a freelancer and as an entrepreneur, and helping many small businesses to change the way their marketing was done, I've decided to create the Conscious Marketing Movement, which is a global community shaping the future of marketing for a better tomorrow. So we bring together entrepreneurs and marketeers to learn, connect, and grow so that we can create social impact and profits. And so it's amazing what we are building here. I'm so excited to have over 50 members now part of the community who are co-creating better marketing practices, because nobody knows everything, and this is not a community about perfection, it's about progress. We have to come together to kind of co-create how this industry is going to change in the future, and really allow voices of the unheard to be heard, and that's why I'm so excited to be part of this podcast and be connecting with you all, because the mission of Gertrude strongly resonates with me. And yeah, it's really a pleasure to be able to talk about conscious marketing with you all. So conscious marketing, there are like 8 key principles that we follow in our work. So for example, from profit-driven to purpose-driven, from company-centric to customer-centric, from price-driven to value-driven, from competitive to collaborative, from interruption to attraction, from complex to simple, from duplicity to honesty, and from fear to love. So these are the 8 key principles that guide our work. And so we try to implement this in our marketing practices, in everything we do. So for example, from fear to love, instead of saying like, don't miss out, few spots left, join us on this, we like get this offer right now, we say something along the lines of, join us on this journey if it resonates with you. We use the power of language to really change the way that we sell things. The awareness needs to be there. So it is super interesting to think about that marketing could be a part of, changing the world instead of being part of the problem. So I really invite like all the marketeers, all the entrepreneurs to rethink their marketing processes together with us and focus on non-violent communication, focus on transparency, focus on authenticity, and also compassion. It's not about making others feel like they are not enough to be part of our journey. It's positive, this inspiration to their lives so that we can improve their lives with our products and services instead of making them feel worse. So it's all about really coming together to rethink how business is done, how it's not about just doing any products or any services. It's about meeting existing needs of society and really like helping them to achieve their goals, no matter what goals they have.
Claudia, with a rich background in living in various countries and embracing different cultures, can you share how these experiences have shaped your approach to marketing and the concept of conscious marketing movement?
Yes, thank you so much for this question. So my experiences all over the world really helped me to see marketing differently. So, for example, I think in different parts of the world, we have perpetuated different stereotypes about other people. I've lived some time in Asia and I saw how advertisements were done to perpetuate a certain idea. For example, at the top of my head, we know that a lot of cleaning products, for example, are associated to women. All the advertisements are with women and so on. And so advertisement has a big power to make a change, instead of always portraying a certain ethnicity or gender and so on. We have the power to change how others perceive even like products and services that are often used by, let's say, women, And so for me, by seeing, by being able to live, for example, in Cambodia, in Singapore, in Germany, in Spain, I really realized that this is not just a local problem, it's a global problem. We are using advertisement and marketing and communications as a way to perpetuate how things are done. And so brands need to be bold to make a change, need to make a stand on what they believe it's a better future for all of us, and portray the voices of the unheard, and stop just assuming that we should speak for these people. We should just give them the room to speak for themselves. So I'm for good, and I think marketing and communications will play a crucial role in making those changes, because we cannot do it alone, by ourselves, but we can do it together, and that's why I created the conscious marketing movement. And this community I'm already learning so much with my peers, Yes, they are learning with me, but I'm also learning with everyone who is involved, who brings new ideas on how we can do better advertisement and how we can do better marketing in general.
So was there a specific moment or experience that catalyzed your shift towards conscious marketing? And can you tell us more about that turning point?
Absolutely. During COVID times, I was working for a brand that did not resonate with my values. And I had to do things that did not resonate with me. I didn't want to do certain marketing practices that I was being asked to. And I had the power to say no, but it is not easy. So I empathize with a lot of the marketeers out there who want to do different things, but then they are told that, no, this is the way that it's done, just follow the process and so on. And so I kept going against what I wanted to do. And at some point I really experienced that this was not for me. And I really entered into this burnout mode, that I was like, no, marketing career is not for me at all, because I can't continue to perpetuate things that are so wrong in society, and I'm being part of the problem, And it was a very hard moment for me. I spent 6 months career break, so that I could kind of recenter myself and figure out what I wanted to do next. And that's when I thought, no, I am just gonna be part of the solution, and I will co-create conscious marketing with others. I will show that it's possible. We will rethink this kind of together and find ways and create case studies with small businesses, particularly because we are constantly highlighting the big corporations, but I believe that small businesses will be the future of society, and we will go back a bit in time, instead of relying on these big corporations, we will really support small entrepreneurs and so on. And so, so this was a turning point for me, like the burnout experience that I had, and almost giving up my career altogether, and then just deciding, no, actually, I will be part of the change, And so 2 years ago, I had only 1,000 followers on LinkedIn, not many likes, not many comments, and still to today, there are posts that don't have a lot of exposure, but to me it was about raising my voice and showing to others that it's possible and supporting them along the process. So now I have almost 20,000 followers on LinkedIn. I've gained a lot of exposure, and which I'm so grateful. And it's just a way to show that, there are other people out there in the world that believe the same, believe that marketing can be part of the change. And that makes me so inspired, because back then I felt really alone, and now I feel this sense of togetherness, and that a lot of people want to participate in this and want to stop this, let's call it aggressive traditional marketing practices that are not doing any good to anyone.
So my next question for you is, you've described the conscious marketing movement as a global community for purpose-driven entrepreneurs and marketers. How do you envisage this community evolving, and what key impacts do you hope you will collectively achieve?
Thank you so much for this amazing question, Gertrude. So, to me, I really believe that we need to come up with a set of guidelines, of principles, of rules of how to do better marketing practices. And so, together with the members of the conscious marketing movement, we are co-creating what that means. So, of course, we have some guiding principles, like I mentioned. These 8 guiding principles are our foundation, but I would love to apply this to companies, specifically to small businesses, to medium-sized businesses, and show that it's possible to be successful without having to use those traditional icky marketing practices, those aggressive marketing tactics. So I'm already working with clients as well and applying this set of principles and these ideas and the positive mindset and inspirational mindset, as opposed to the fear-based and scarcity mindset. But it's gonna take us time to get there, obviously, and I really hope that we can create a way for marketeers to access their own impact, the impacts that their campaigns have. So I would love to change the industry as a whole. And the first step for us was the community, but there will be many other steps in the years to come for us to even in the future help, let's say, governments to make sure that companies, that social media platforms and so on really take care of our interests instead of only taking care of profit. So for me, the conscious marketing movement is all about merging profits with social impact. We tend to think that, when someone is doing something good for others, it should be free and we should only be a non-profit. But to me, it's about rethinking this model, because the model of the future is to be a business with purpose, a business that merges profits and social impact. And it will not be just about being a greedy corporation or a good-hearted nonprofit. We will have something in the middle. And I want conscious marketing to be the catalyst for those businesses, for businesses that have a purpose, that help society. And we will continue to see a shift in the coming years. And we hope that conscious marketing movement is a part of it.
I absolutely love that. It is way overdue for us to have a paradigm shift. So transitioning to new marketing paradigm is not a small feat. What have been the biggest challenges that you faced in promoting conscious marketing, and how have you addressed them?
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Gertrude, for this question. So one of the things that I face again and again is skepticism. So a lot of people believe that traditional fear-based marketing tactics, such as, tactics that use scarcity, for example, don't miss out on this offer, few spots left, or tactics that use charm pricing, for example, using 999s instead of saying 100 and things like that. So there are a lot of this, let's call it violent communication tactics that marketeers use, and they believe that it's more effective. And this is something that I'm telling again and again, no, actually, we learn better with positive reinforcement, right? It's been proved again and again that negative reinforcement in the psychology studies show that people don't learn well, when they are constantly being put down and so on. So why haven't we applied these psychological studies to marketing? That's a very interesting question that I'm trying to solve. So that's why, to me, I always need to go back to this kind of studies and let people know that no, we are here to prove that in marketing this also works, for us to have a positive mindset, for us to inspire others, for us to be a part of the conversation with them and not making them believe that this solution is for them because they are not feeling good about themselves. So how I've addressed this, I've decided to just with my own account, so by using my personal brand, I've shown that this is possible. So I've grown my account from 1,000 followers to 20,000 followers, no icky traditional marketing practices. I've been really focused on just using this, let's say, these guidelines, like these 8 conscious marketing principles to grow my account. And I'm very thankful for Caroline Tate, who wrote the book Conscious Marketing, and it's basically one of my big guidelines. I always follow her book, and it is possible. And now I've been facing less skepticism just by showing that it's possible with my own account. And now I have the opportunity to grow also businesses, using this set of principles. I'm working with a couple of businesses and I'm so excited to see them growing. And so just by having these case studies, it really shows that it's possible.
I was just about to go in and ask that question, that can you share a success story or a case study from the consciousness marketing movement that illustrates the positive impact of this approach on a brand or on a campaign?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for this question. So, for example, I am working with the European Women on Boards. One of my clients is a nonprofit organization, and we can already see the positive impact of my work together with their team. Of course, I'm not alone in this endeavor, and I'm so excited to see their community growing, their positive impact expanding. And I've worked with also plenty of other brands, so more like small businesses run by women, because that was one of my key principles, that I would love to help women succeeding. I believe that many women entrepreneurs do not have the same opportunities. And so I wanted conscious marketing to be part of the solution, because they don't need big marketing budgets to succeed. So we are focused on organic marketing as opposed to advertisement. And so, yeah, I'm just so excited. I could mention a couple of my clients here. For example, I've worked with Reconsidered before. I've worked with Talis before. I worked with Remote Rebellion. I worked with Green Push. So I have plenty of clients in my range, and I'm excited to bring more on board. And of course, when it comes to the members of the conscious marketing movement, they are from everywhere in the world. We have people in the US, we have people in South America in general, people in Europe, people in Asia, people in New Zealand, people in Australia. So it's really a global problem. And I'm so excited to see that the skepticism is slowly becoming less and less, although it's still part of one of the biggest challenges that I face daily.
What is exciting is once you do have those case studies, people can start believing in the results, believing in the process. So
Yes.
in terms of results, how does conscious marketing compare with traditional marketing strategies? And are there any metrics or indicators you focus on to measure the success? Because without data, you really don't have anything to show.
Absolutely. I think this is an excellent question as well. It's not that we are completely different when it comes to metrics. We still need to measure results. It's more like our approach is what sets us apart. So of course we might, for example, if we are talking about a social media campaign, we might measure impressions just as normal traditional marketing would do. But it's more about, okay, did this campaign bring also other things like hidden metrics? How did people feel about these campaigns? How people engaged with this campaign? So it goes way beyond just looking into the superficial kind of metrics. So we use a lot feedback forms to kind of gather this data, on how people felt. And that's a really important part of the process. So of course we measure the same things as traditional marketing, yes, but we go beyond that. We really try to measure the impact that these campaigns have on people. Not just looking at numbers.
I absolutely love that. So, for marketers looking to transition into a more ethical and conscious practice, what initial steps would you recommend?
I think that the first step would be to connect with other peers, and that's one of the reasons why I created the conscious marketing movement. A lot of us feel alone in our journeys. Like, I felt when I first started, I felt like there wasn't some sort of tribe or community that was really pushing for better marketing practices, more ethical marketing practices. And so I used LinkedIn as the key platform for that. So I started to connect with people. I started to have virtual coffee chats. And that's when I realized that there was a clear need. So there was an existing need for marketeers who were doing traditional marketing but wanted to change their practices and didn't know where to start. And so I would suggest that if it resonates with you, come and check the conscious marketing movement, because you can connect with plenty of other marketeers who believe marketing can be a force for good. And then you can take it from there, because we have plenty of learning resources for you also there, where you can learn exactly how we are changing the marketing industry.
I love it. It is all about being in a community, right? When you have like-minded people around you who think like you, who do like you, to help you transition from one place to another.
Yes.
So let's talk a little bit about your personal growth. Living outside your comfort zone seems to be a recurring theme in your life. How has this willingness to embrace discomfort contributed to your personal and professional growth?
That's a very good question. So I think it's very important for us to not get too comfortable where we are, because things change so rapidly, especially when it comes to marketing. Things change all the time. We have new tools, AI has taken over recently, and so it's just not possible these days to just rely on staying the same for the next 10 years. Things have drastically changed with technology. So for me, it has been always important to try new things and be curious, because when you're curious, you're also able to connect with people from different nationalities, backgrounds, ages, and so on. So when you don't have this growth mindset of just trying to learn as much as possible, life becomes more difficult, because we are constantly thrown challenges that we might not be able to solve. So I'm very grateful that I had the opportunity to live in all of those different places, to also meet so many different people, because thanks to these perspectives, I could also believe that being an entrepreneur was possible for me. Maybe when I was in my early years, I envisioned an entrepreneur as a typical, big company and so on. And I think it's so important that we show that also small businesses can succeed, and you don't need to be the next unicorn to be happy. So yes, it's about breaking those stereotypes, breaking those ideas, and showing that there are other ways possible for you to be successful.
We always have to show what's possible. Otherwise,
Yes,
people don't have the evidence that it can be done.
exactly.
So, my final question for you is, for individuals inspired by your mission and eager to join the conscious marketing movement, what advice do you have for them to start making a difference in their own circles? Because it always starts at home with your own inner circle. Do you have a 3-step process? What advice can you give?
That's amazing. I have a newsletter completely for free called Conscious Marketing Insights. So if you'd like to simply just check what we are doing, that would be the first step, I would say. And also, I think it's always good to assess your own campaigns, to have a look and really look at it with this like compassion way. Like, is this post making someone feel good about themselves or bad? Like, would you say this to someone's face? If you aren't able to read what you wrote or whatever you have done, the image, if you aren't able to show this to someone's face, it might mean that it lacks compassion. So this is the first step to really like evaluate yourself, rethink, and then we can start the conversation on how we can do better. But if marketeers cannot even like realize the problem and how much we are contributing to this terrible like mental health crisis and also the climate crisis, I think it's hard to start the conversation. So once people identify the problem, we can go to the next step of looking at the solutions, and that's where we will be very happy to welcome you whenever you're ready.
Claudia, it always excites me when I find somebody who is on a vision, a mission to be the change we want to see in the world. It's not enough to talk about these things. It takes a lot of courage to step up and say, this is what I stand for. This is the change that I'm going to bring about. So when we found you through LinkedIn, I was really excited to have this interview with you. So thank you so much for coming online and sharing your story.
Thank you. This means so much to me. It's been wonderful. Thank you for the opportunity.
It's an absolute pleasure. And what I'm hoping is that we will collaborate with you when we bring the Her Story movement to Germany later this year in September. We're planning an event. So I will be in touch with you and extend an invitation to you to be one of our speakers as well.
Can't wait. That would be wonderful.
Fantastic. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in today. The Her Story Circle is attracting some phenomenal women, movers and shakers in their fields. Like I said, all of us are trying to leave the planet a better place than we found it. So whether you're in business and entrepreneurship, health and wellness, family and relationships, creativity, social justice, or spirituality, come onto our platform, come and share your story. I believe that we can change the world one woman at a time, one story at a time. And Claudia, thank you again for this interview.
Thank you.
I'll be back again tomorrow, everybody, with yet another amazing guest. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, morning, or evening, wherever you are in the world, and bye for now. Thank you for tuning into the Her Story Circle podcast. I hope today's story has inspired you to believe in the power of our stories and the difference you can make in the world when you use your voice. I'm Gertrude Mache, and it's been an honor to share this space with you, where voices from all walks of life come together to weave a rich tapestry of diverse perspectives. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our podcast to help us share these stories with more listeners. Follow us on social media by looking for the Her Story Circle podcast for more updates. And join us tomorrow for another episode filled with courage, resilience, and empowerment. Remember, your story matters, and together we're building a stronger, more inclusive world. Until next time, keep making her story.